Well, Isaiah Harris tells me had he known what his reaction would have been, he personally would not have chosen to get the COVID-19 vaccine. However, he says his message tonight is don't avoid the vaccine, but rather do your research. And that's a message that's being echoed by the State Department of Health.
If it can happen to me, this can happen to anyone. I had no pre-existing medical conditions. I'm 18 years old, I'm healthy, I'm active. I was anyway.
May 1st was the day Isaiah Harris had been waiting for, walking across the stage at graduation. But that night, only one day after getting his second Pfizer vaccine, Harris knew something wasn't right.
I was actually driving down the interstate, and it just all of a sudden my heart rate went way up, and it just felt like it was kind of beating out of my chest. It hurt so bad.
Harris was rushed to the ER and told he was having a heart attack and suffering from myocarditis. A few weeks later, a doctor at the Cleveland Clinic linked the reaction to his vaccine. Harris's doctor from the Cleveland Clinic was unable to speak with us in an interview, but released a statement that reads, quote, "The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention have been monitoring rare cases of myocarditis happening after mRNA COVID-19 vaccinations. Cleveland Clinic has seen cases of both myocarditis and perimyocarditis that have developed after a COVID-19 infection and after an mRNA vaccine. The patient's case of myocarditis appears consistent with others that have been reported after vaccination. Cleveland Clinic continues to recommend COVID-19 vaccinations for everyone 12 years of age and older."
Advisory Committee on Immunization Practices and the CDC feel that the benefit and the protection provided by the vaccine outweighs the risk of the vaccine.
While Harris tells me he would not choose to get vaccinated again, he does think it's a choice that all Arkansans should consider.
I think they need to do the correct research. They need to weigh the benefits versus the risk of the vaccine. I mean, for me, I didn't know there were any risks involved.
If someone considers only the risk of the vaccine, then they may be making a poorly informed decision. They also need to consider the risk of the illness, which are much greater at this point in time than the risks of the vaccines.
Well, Harris's recovery plan is very strict going forward. He's not allowed to do any physical activity aside from walking his dog for the next 6 months. The goal is to just keep his heart rate down. But Harris tells me his goal is to get back to lifting weights 5 days a week like he used to just a few months ago.
All right, Jamie, thank you. We're so glad that he's doing okay. Obviously, I'm sure the story raises a lot of questions about myocarditis. So what data do we have about the number of people who have seen this after the vaccine? Like, how many people have gotten it?
Well, Paige, the Arkansas Department of Health doesn't have any data about myocarditis, but we can take a look at some of the national numbers. So as of July 12th, 2021, VAERS, that's the Vaccine Adverse Event Reporting System, how you self-report after getting your vaccine. They received 1,047 reports of myocarditis or pericarditis among people aged 30 and younger that have had a COVID-19 vaccine. Most of those cases reported after the Pfizer or Moderna vaccines, which are mRNA vaccines. Now, this has been in male adolescents and young adults. That's the trend they're seeing. But the CDC and FDA have confirmed of those over 1,000 cases, they've confirmed 633